Charles, how you doing? You're feeling good? You're feeling all right?
I feel more than all right. I feel really good. What about you, Drew?
I feel great. I'm starting to get a little hot. I miss you though in here. You and I used to be rubbing sweaty shoulders together, and hopefully we can do that soon in the booth. But for now, we're still zooming and having a good time, and people who are listening are about to have a really good time because this is the second half of our Dan Laustsen interview, and it rules. I'm just gonna say that it's really great. We'll talk some specifics about the episode afterwards, but there's some really interesting / heartbreaking stuff about some projects that he and Guillermo were working on that almost happened.
Yes.
Including how close Fantastic Voyage got, which it seems very fucking close. So yeah, there's some great stuff there and a lot more. So what do you think people should keep an ear out for in this episode, Charles?
There's a lot. I mean, just him talking about the shoot of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is pretty fascinating.
That's right.
And yeah, there's stuff that I want to bring up at the end of that to talk about the nightmare shoot of Mimic as well.
Yes.
There's some good stuff. I mean, Dan was just such a pleasure to talk to. So he is lovely, and I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Well, before we get into it, I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs. The first one to Jeremy Dillon and his amazing podcast, My Favorite Album. Each week, he talks to a different musician, songwriter, actor, or filmmaker about the music they love and how it's influenced them and their work. And this episode is also brought to you by John B. And without these two lovely people, we wouldn't be able to keep doing this show. So thank you so much. And without further ado, here's Kevin Blumenfeld and his legally actionable theme music.
Was there any sequence in particular that was really challenging or that you weren't happy with how it turned out in either movie, John Wick 2 or 3?
I'm sure there was, but I forgot that. But I'm questioning myself every day, like, oh, could I do that better? Why didn't I do that? But normally, as I said before, we are very well prepared. So of course you can have sometimes, especially if you're shooting outdoors. That was a funny when we have shot in, I think it's number 3. We have shot in Chinatown, and then we have the company move, so we have go up and shoot outside the library in New York, the main library, when he's coming out and jumping in, and then he's giving that guy the book a hard time. Remember that sequence?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I came up there before the rest of the crew. I said, this is so boring, I'm getting a heart attack. What the fuck can we do? It was like, what can we do? It was really bad. And then I said to Bill, how many tubes do we have in the truck, fluorescent tubes? And he said, well, we have like 20 here and we have like 40 in the second truck that's on the way up. So I said, what the fuck can we do? So we put all the fluorescent lights on the stairs. If you see that, there's a lot of fluorescence on the stairs on the way up to the library outside. And that was like something we did on the day, like everybody was running around in panic to put those fluorescents in. And I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We did that on the spot, we was like, oh, give us 10 more minutes because we was really in panic. And that was not planned. It was just an idea I got. I said to Chad, why are we not doing this? And he said, oh yeah, let's do it. So we did that but that's normally not the way it works. It was just like, I came to that location. It was like, this is so dull. So we put them up, and that was great.
Does the lack of physical squibs and like the lack of physical glass in the scene where they're throwing the knives at each other, does that impact how you stage or shoot those sequences at all? And do you miss some of the kind of tactile quality of that stuff?
I don't, it's so much faster to shoot that way. And, if you have to put physical glass in, first of all, it's not safe at all, because the actors can cut them, and you cannot throw a knife because then you can hurt somebody else. And it's much, I think it's because Keanu is so professional, he knows exactly what he wants to do and what him and Chad wants to do. I don't think it's just the way it works right now. Squibs, it's going to take forever to put them in. and it works really well. Everybody buys it. So no,
Okay.
I think it's the glass will just be painful to, dangerous and painful, and not in the fight sequence like this one. A lot of other times you can put it in that you need to have it, but not in a sequence where it's so dangerous. So safety wise, and visual effects people can put it in. So it's, I buy it.
Right. I know. Yeah. I just, you're always on a Guillermo del Toro movie where there's a rubber monster running around. So I was just wondering,
But that's the same. I
Yeah.
buy that 100% because that's like, it's again about, I think it's about lighting and staging and performance. Maybe the opposite way around, but I'm just saying, if you buy the performance and it's lit, so it doesn't look like it's too weird, I think the audience buy it. And of course, Shape of Water could be like, what the fuck? Is that a guy in a suit? But, when we shot that movie, it was not a guy in a suit. There was a fish man. Of course it was, so he was so much in the character, and everybody like, of course. And that's performance, and yeah.
Right.
That's movie making, cheating.
Yes. Yes.
Drew and I, we in college, I think we were probably 18 when that movie came out. We were obsessed with this movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
You shot that movie, and so I wanted to ask you about it. It's the most insane movie, and we saw it when we were, I think, going into college, and it was just such an amazing, crazy movie. I just wanted to hear, what that experience was like for you shooting that movie.
It was funny because I just had an interview 2 days ago about it, because it seems like it's 20 years ago now. Think about that, guy. So you're getting older now.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
No, Brotherhood of the Wolf was, for me, it was my first really big movie. And I don't speak French at all. I have problems enough to speak English. So, France will never, So I was the only guy on the set that was not from France.
Wow.
And in the beginning, all the guys said, why are we bringing sand from Sahara? Why are we bringing this stupid guy from up there? We don't know even where he's coming from, to shoot a movie in France, because, the French cinematographers are the best in the world. So in the beginning, it was like, it was definitely not easy. But I have a really good relationship with Christophe Gans. And again, we want to move the camera a lot. We want to have single source lighting. But it was a really big movie. We shot for 135 days. We shot on film, of course. We shot in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes it was very, very difficult, because we have this language thing. A lot of people on the crew didn't speak English. A lot of people from France for 20 years ago, they couldn't say a word in English. So there was a lot of issues with languages. But we came through it, and I liked it. And it was one of those, I think it's around 10 weeks old, and you don't do that so much anymore. It's like you're calling your wife and said, oh, darling, I'm coming back next Saturday. And then next Saturday you call her again and said, oh, I'm coming home next Saturday. And we have a lot of issues that we have a lot of problems with rain and weather. And it was but it was fantastic. It was so, again, if you're together with people that have the same vision and they want to do the same kind of movie like me, or, you're in the same boat, cinematographer is the best job on the planet. And it's, everybody wants to help you. Everybody wants to have to look as good as possible. But it was definitely not the easiest movie I've done in my life, but it was great. And, I think Christophe was thinking very clever there, all this speed ramping. And I think that was one of the first movies where we really saw that, and it works extremely well. Yeah, but that was, it was great. I loved it. But it was difficult because it was a 100% road movie. And a lot of those castles, you cannot do anything. And it was like a big thing. And we shot on film, of course. And there was a lot of stuff about that also. We shot a lot of film. It was fun.
Did he say to you, I want you to photograph Monica Bellucci's breast in this way, and then afterwards it's going to turn into a mountain? Especially at the time, I remember that being one of the craziest transitions I'd ever seen.
No, Monica Bellucci came to me every morning and said, touch my hair like this, and said, Dan, make me beautiful. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to love her. She was so nice. She was fantastic. And she was the first time in my life where she said, take your time, You're making my close-ups. It's very important for the movie. It's very important for me. So don't rush it, and because I'm coming from Denmark, a small country, and the same all over the world. Not so much anymore, but you have to hurry up all the time. But she was fantastic. She was the sweetest woman on the planet. And of course, we have that her breast coming into the like, wow.
So she got it. She got the kind of joke of the.
Everybody was very nice, but she was especially very, very nice because she was a nice woman.
Since we're now getting into the other corners of your career, I was wondering, the Mimic shoot was notoriously difficult, and I think really set Guillermo back, and he's talked about it a lot. Do you want to air your grievances? What was your experience like on that movie?
We shot a movie. I shot a movie in Los Angeles called Night Watch.
Yes.
With Bob and Harvey Weinstein, and they saw the dailies and said, we like what you're doing, and Guillermo should do his movie, and said, you should check this Danish DP up, and Guillermo did that, and we talked about how to do the movie, and then we start shooting, and again we shot on film. I was sure I was getting fired every day because it was a really dark movie, but that was the way we wanted to do it. It was like super dark, and I love it. I think it was fantastic, but Bob and Harvey was not agree with Guillermo about a lot of stuff, so that was giving him a very hard time. And of course, I was 100% unfair. It was a really tough shoot because it was giving him so much heat, and they didn't realize he was a fantastic director. But I think it's so many years ago. I don't remember it clearly, but just remember it was a tough shoot, and we was fighting together against the studio there, and in the end, it was great. I saw it for not too long ago, and it still holds up.
Was that harder, or was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen harder?
The League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen was another issue because there was this big fight between the leading actor and the director, and I'm the director's guy. If the director called me and said, "Do you want me to help to make this movie?" I'm saying yes, and I'm going to help him or her. And it was just like it, because both of them was fantastic people, but it was just, there was a lot of power playing going on. And again, if you're doing the same movie, it's much, much more fun. And I think the problem was that the movie was too big. Nobody realized how big the movie was before we started shooting. And I think it was a mistake to make that in Prague those days. We should have shot it in London or something. Well, it was technically too complicated to shoot that in Prague, and I think that was a mistake. But a classic, Sean Connery was super nice, and
to you,
he was so nice to me. Yeah, there was some battles going on there,
right?
But he was nice to me, nice to the crew, and he was maybe not so nice now and then to the director. But you have that things now and then, people are not coming along. But for me, it was great. I love the movies. Like another one, really, that was the biggest movie I have done those days, But and it was great. Like we built everything. You could do whatever we want to do. Carol Spear was a production designer. She did a fantastic job. But it was a long shoot, and there was some tough days there.
Well, on the opposite end of that, when you were making Shape of Water, which we both love dearly, was there a sense on set that there was something really special being made there? Because I know sometimes people say, oh, we had no idea that it was going to be so good or something, but was there that kind of sensation that you guys were really committing something special?
I think there was.
Okay.
First of all, I love Guillermo. I think he's a masterpiece. He's a master director. He's like fantastic. And the way he designed it, or we designed everything, and the way we shot it, that he was designing all the shots, shot by shot. It was so organized, and he was so precise, and we knew more or less exactly where to go and how to do it. So when we shot it was fantastic. Again, I think we was doing a masterpiece, but you don't know. You don't know how good or bad it's going to be before you see it, of course. But I didn't have any doubts about it would be fantastic, because Sally and the Fishman, they was falling in love with each other. It was so powerful, And, as you talked about before, he was like a guy in a suit, but he was not a guy in a suit. He was like the fishman. He was like the king of wherever he was. But it was so powerful. So that, I didn't have any, and Sally was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any doubts about, I didn't knew we was going for Oscar.
Right.
But I just knew we was doing a really good movie. And the way we shot it, the design, the way the camera, all the shot was designed from one shot to a next shot, super precise. Of course, that's very complicated to do it. And we shot that chronological. We turned around all the time. It was not like we're shooting all the shots on you and then we're shooting the shots on me. We shot you, me. We're turning around all the time. And of course, that's a challenge, especially for cinematographer, because you have to remember to come back to exactly the same lighting 2 hours later. And that was a big challenge. Walls on and off, and because everything is shot on a crane,
right,
or 95%. But I have a very strong feeling about we did something fantastic. I just think he's a master Guillermo, so I'm a big fan.
How do you feel about the different aspect ratios? Because I think Guillermo del Toro traditionally seems like he likes a taller, traditional
we discussed that on all movies. I think he's right. That's the worst part. No, we are always, because I'm a big fan of CinemaScope, but 240. So we on all the movies we said, oh, let's try to shoot it 240, and we do some tests, and then in the end we're going back to 185. And there's nothing wrong with 185 because it's a very beautiful format. It's just another, he just likes that, and I not disagree at all.
Does he provide a reason for why he feels like it's better?
I just think he feels it's a nicer format to frame in. Let's see if he's ever going to do an anamorphic or CinemaScope movie. I don't know.
We talk about this every time a movie comes out. Charles and I are always asking, when is he going to shoot anamorphic? I mean, part of me thinks that he's so obsessed with these creatures that he wants to just see as much of them as he can.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it just he just liked that format, and I think it works on Shape of Water. I think it would be bad if it was CinemaScope. Actually, I think it works much better for that movie.
Was it also because you guys were sort of channeling an older movie sensibility as well, too, right?
I think that's a part of it, but you see a lot of movies where you're shooting like period movie and you're shooting scope. But I like both, and I like 133 right now. That's if you use that right. The old Academy. It is really beautiful. Right. It depends on the movie, and you just have to work with it and frame it correctly. I think if you look in a movie like Ida, remember that Polish movie? I think it's from Poland. Ida.
Yes.
Yeah, about the nun. Great. Yeah.
The way those guys was framing that is so beautiful. They really use that frame. It was not like they used it like it was a real. It was not like, we are framing normally just with a little bit more square format. They really used that frame like you did in the old days when you were shooting 6x6 stills. And I think that is great.
Another one I loved was Meek's Cutoff. Did you see that? Meek's Cutoff?
No, I did not.
The Kelly Reichardt movie. She also did 4x3. It's really, really well done.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, it's 4x3 is really beautiful. But I cannot tell you when he's going to do, Guillermo's going to do, or hopefully we are going to do a CinemaScope movie. You have to ask him next time you see.
Speaking of you and Guillermo, he's infamous for attaching himself to like 1,000 things at once and getting very close to some things, right? Like, have you worked on a movie of his that didn't end up happening? Were you on At the Mountains of Madness, or were you on any of these projects?
Yeah, I was on the submarine inside the...
Fantastic Voyage.
Fantastic Voyage, and the Pacific Rim 2. I was on both of them.
Wow.
Pacific Rim I should have done, and Fantastic Voyage as well. But I don't remember why it didn't happen. This happens all the time right now. The bigger movie they're getting, the more it happens for me a lot. I think it happens for everybody. You're running in your pre-production, you're scouting, you're and then it's just falling apart for whatever reason.
Do you remember anything about his Pacific Rim 2?
I just remember we were scouting in China, and it was fantastic. But I don't remember why.
Dan, give me some details here. I need some details.
I don't remember why it was falling apart. It must be. I really don't remember, to be honest. I just remember we were scouting, and then they pulled the plug. And I think that was the same with Fantastic Warriors. You know, it's just. I think it was getting too big. Sometimes it's just getting too expensive, and people said, you know, we cannot afford it or whatever. Or
Right.
Guillermo doesn't want to do it. You know, I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of, you know, I'm together with him a lot when we're shooting, but when I'm not shooting with him, we're not talking on the phone every day.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a big fan of him, so I'm sure he does the right things all the time.
Yeah. Because if you had done one of those, maybe you wouldn't have done Shape of Water or something. Right.
No, because because I think I don't remember that, to be honest. Maybe you're right.
I'm just trying to put a positive spin on this, you know. I'm trying.
Yeah. But I don't remember. I think Shape of Water was up, and he talked about Shape of Water for a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like a story. But you're right. I'm sure if we have done one of those, Shape of Water will not come up.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's a masterpiece, I think.
Yes, I agree with you. I love it so much.
Me too. I haven't seen it for a long time, you know. But I think the one we just have done now, it's really good.
Sounds like a real yarn, this new one. A real pot
Is
boiler.
this, we're talking about Nightmare Alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can tell us about it?
Then they're going to kill me, you know that.
You know, it would have been nice if you had put some movie stars in this movie. Oh, wait. Every movie star in the world is in Nightmare Alley.
Yeah. That was great. It was fantastic. It was, for me, it was, you know, we have a really good time there. All the actors was fantastic. Bradley Cooper was amazing. Kate Blanchett, everybody was great. And of course, we have this Corona break, and that was good and bad, I think. But when you are there, you know, it's just like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? You know, I was sure we was going to stop for 2 weeks. So my plan was not go back home. And then by accident, I got a plane because, you know, they shut Toronto down pretty badly there in March. So that was good. And of course, then we come back again and we have to shoot with masks and face shields and all that. It was like a nightmare. But we came through it. Nobody gets sick. And I think the production took care of us so fantastic well. You know, it was like, of course, your glasses is mistering up and you cannot see anything. And it's just like a drag and you're afraid of getting sick and all that. But, you know, we came through it and it's hopefully it's going to be good.
You need to get him to make movies more regularly. That's the only thing about Guillermo.
I agree about that. Don't anybody have a phone? We can call him and say.
I know, we need to get him on the phone and say. I'm still waiting for his Haunted Mansion movie. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't do. But, you know, this is happening. I've seen it, this Nightmare Alley. I've seen a rough cut, and it's pretty good.
How's the cinematography?
It's okay.
I got one quick question I got to ask. So, because obviously John Wick, the series is so much about the dogs are such an important part of it. So I wanted to ask you, are you a dog person? Do you have a dog?
I don't have a dog. My girlfriend have a dog. I'm not a big dog person. And, you know, it's funny because when we shot, Chad and me are giving each other a lot of shit all the time. And when we shot John Wick 3 with the dogs, we have this train and, you know, those killer dogs, those dogs are pretty scary. You know, they're like, in real life, they're scary too. So they said to the trainer, asked the trainer, where does the dog sleeps? And he said, of course, the dog sleeps in your bed. And I said, and Chad said, of course it does that. If you're a dog person, the dogs are sleeping in your bed. And those dogs are the big killer dogs. Whatever. But I'm not, when I'm getting old, I'm going to buy a dog.
Oh, good.
But those dogs in John Wick, I was a little bit afraid of them, to be honest. I was like, all right, it's not my call. I'm staying away.
You don't have to adopt one of those. You can get a different kind of dog when you get old and you want to get a dog. Do you have a favorite John Wick movie? Are you most proud of one of them?
I think number 3 is great. I think it's a good movie. I like it. And it looks really good. I'm very pleased about the look. I think we did a really good job there. And I think everything is coming much better. You know, it's going the right way. You have to be like 1, 2, 3. Have to be. It was bad if number 3 was the worst. And hopefully number 4 is going to be even better, of course. But I think number 3 looks great. I'm very pleased about the look. And I like this like deep shadows and the contrast in the colors. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of number 3.
I mean, it looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I think you have to come back to 4 and 5 just to up your game.
Yeah.
Do it even crazier next time.
You have to go even more. You know, of course. That's the way it is. It is. You cannot go. You have to still go up.
Right. Well, Dan, thank you so much. I feel like we have taken all of your time and all of your Wi-Fi in Sweden. We really appreciate it. We love your work on John Wick and elsewhere. Please ask Christoph where Brotherhood of the Wolf is, because it's like not available anywhere, and we love it.
He made a pretty cool. I think he made his own version of a Blu-ray, because I got a Blu-ray from France, like with 5 or 6 or 7 DVDs in.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's a big, like, a big box like that.
I still have the 3-disc DVD set from 20 years ago.
Oh, cool. But I think it's out on Blu-ray too. I'm not sure, to be honest. Of course, we made Silent Hill after that, but then after that, I haven't seen him for many years.
Well, hopefully it'll come out again at some point, because it's beautiful.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, Dan. This really meant a lot to us, and we can't wait to see what you do next. And please keep in touch, because we can't wait for Nightmare Alley and everything else.
Just give me a call, guys. Now you have my information.
That's right. We will. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much, guys. And we're back. Charles, unload on us all of the things you wanted to talk about at the top of the show, but you just couldn't do it yet.
I mean, I think the interview speaks for itself mostly. I mean, it was just awesome to talk about. I was sad to hear that he's not a dog person. I'll say that. But he said when he gets old, he's going to get one, and I do like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
He's traveling all the time. I get it. He lives in a different country. There's a lot going on there. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I loved talking with him about Brotherhood of the Wolf. I mean, it was so cool that he shot that movie. That movie was insane. I pulled up the DVD and I was gonna watch it, and then we saw that Scream Factory announced a Blu-ray is coming out July 27th. So
yes,
it's coming out like now. So you should, if you're interested in that movie at all, it's absolutely batshit crazy. I held off from watching it because I want to watch it on Blu-ray and, give it its due. I can't wait to watch. I ordered the Blu-ray already. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that is going to be a treat to get to see that in its full glory. I think I had I remember I had a Regions 2 version of the Blu-ray that didn't even have American subtitles, but I just wanted to watch the movie kind of play. So I would just watch it without the subtitle. I mean, it's an amazing movie. And it's sort of a lost movie over the past 10 or 15 years.
It was when we did this interview, it was out of print and there was like nothing that you could do to see it. It wasn't streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
And now this Blu-ray is coming out. So it's possible with the Blu-ray there will be a digital version coming out as well. I don't know, but I do know that Scream Factory has a Blu-ray and that you should get it. And I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah, Scream Factory and Shout Factory are awesome, and we love them so much. And they have put out so many amazing Blu-rays. It's hard to even keep up.
Yes, they were the ones that did my beloved Pink Panther set.
Yes, they did.
Because I'd been waiting for all the Pink Panther movies to come in a set, especially because one of the movies had a weird rights issue for a while. And was Return of the Pink Panther had issue, and then finally when Shout Factory announced it, because I remember there was like rumors, maybe Criterion, whatever, and Shout Factory did it, and they did an amazing job, and I was very happy about that. And so they have their offshoot, which is Scream Factory.
Yes, yeah, I have the new King Kong 1976. I haven't watched it yet, but R.I.P. Charles Grodin, another a great pick to watch in his honor. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I did a whole week of watching Charles Grodin stuff.
Yeah.
I love Charles Grodin so much. Midnight Run is one of my absolute favorite movies, and so I had to watch that one. And I watched Great Muppet Caper, and I watched Real Life, and I wish I could see the original Heartbreak Kid, but it's impossible to find it anywhere.
Well, hopefully it'll come out at some point, and maybe Shout Factory will do it. Please listen and put that out. But yeah.
The original Heartbreak Kid is such an amazing movie, and it's such a sad. I mean, it was like I think I got it from Cinephile, that's video store that has some rare stuff. Anyway, this is very off topic. Sorry.
Yes.
There was some nerdy talk about aspect ratios with Dan, and if anybody is interested in that, we'll post some stuff in our show notes on the website about different aspect ratios. It's interesting to hear talk about, Guillermo likes to shoot the taller aspect ratio, and obviously the John Wicks are very wide, and so is Mission. Mission is the same wide aspect ratio as the Wicks. So anyway, check out our show notes. That's on our website, lightthefusepodcast.com. In the episode guide, pick any episode, and you'll find fun visual companion to the episode of that interview. And I'm just rambling on, as I always do. Please check out our stuff. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/lightthefuse. Please sign up, the bonus content level. We always have bonus episodes. If you want to support our show, please, it would mean so much to us if you signed up. It is not free for us to make this show. It costs money, and if you want to help us out and support us, you can also buy a shirt from our TeePublic store or anything like that. Get some merch, because that helps us out. Every dollar really does count, so please do help us. And follow us on social media at LightTheFusePod on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you don't have the money to spare, you can always just write us a review. That helps. Spread the word on social media. Let people know about our show. Anyone who's interested in filmmaking, and especially Mission Impossible, tell them, oh my God, you got to check out Light the Fuse. They have so many great interviews. You learn so much about filmmaking. Blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.
Charles, are you breaking down? We gotta cut this recording short, because you need to plug in. So we will.
I might be losing it.
Charles is losing it. I've lost it a long time ago. We're going on a little bit of a break, thank God. You will not be affected by this break. There will still be new episodes on the main feed and on the Patreon, which is another great reason to join the Patreon. So,
yes.
Charles, before we go, though, do you have anything you want to tell people?
I do. I want to give a very special thank you to Dustin Catalan and Robbie J. Martin. Thank you, Dustin and Robbie. This episode couldn't be made without you. It means so much to us. And also want to thank our mixer and editor, Luke Burson, and our composer, Kevin Blumenfeld, and our production assistant, Abby Smith. All of these people make this show every week, and we do it together as a team. We're like an IMF team, or like, the guys at the Continental doing their business.
Yes. I feel like I'm part of Lawrence Fishburne's hobo army, but that's just me. Yes, everybody contributes in their own way and to make the show run, and we really appreciate it. So without further ado, we will be back next week.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. And before we go, another mission, should you choose to accept it, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LightTheFusePod, and email us questions or comments at lightthefusepodcast@gmail.com. The doors to any service or provider in connection with the Continental are now closed.